Can you start by telling us your name, please?
George Lyse. George Walter Lyse.
And what was your rank in the lighthouse service?
Well, I started as first assistant keeper and second, and then got the PK, you see, as the fellows went out.
Okay. How many years were you a lighthouse keeper?
23.
So when did you join?
2 years.
4th of August 1956.
That's right, yes. 4th of August 1956.
That's my wife's birthday, is 4th of August. And was it all on Cape Pembroke?
Yes, yeah.
So it's got to be a record in itself, 23 years on one lighthouse, I should think.
I suppose I just don't know.
Can you describe the lighthouse at all? To somebody that hasn't seen it, perhaps?
In what way then?
Just the general features, what it's made of, what the flash is, what engines you had.
Well, we had no engines when I went there. It was paraffin lamps, see? They were wick lamps. And I think it was in 62 when they built our new quarters, we got a light engine. And
So up until you had the light engine, what was it like there?
not very good. These silly little lamps, not much light. No,
And the main light, what was that?
paraffin.
Can you describe how you had to put it on every night?
You had to heat it. It was a mantle job, vaporizer and a mantle. You had to heat it up with meth. Took about 15 minutes to heat it up, and then she was away with it. Wind her up every hour, I think it was.
What were the problems you had with it if during the night? Was it a reliable light?
Sometimes you used to get dirt in the vaporizer, see? They used to come up and of course block your paraffin off. You had to go and prick them out with a pricker. That sort of thing. Sometimes he'd flip right out on you. You'd have to light him up again then.
You didn't have to spend your whole watch up in the lens room though, did you?
No, no. That was finished when I went there. That's what they had the stove for years ago, you see.
So they did do a watch up there originally then?
Oh yes, yes. And I think they used to sleep in the middle place there, where them cupboards were. Is that right?
It is. There is something on the drawing, indeed, that describes indeed having berths.
Bunk rooms in the tower
Bunk rooms,
itself?
yeah.
So they probably would have been curved like the lighthouse hall.
I suppose a little, yes.
Right, so when you were a keeper there, where did you do your watches from? Was it a wandering watch, as it were?
Well, in the old living quarters, from the kitchen window. Just look straight up at them. But when we got the new quarters, I put 2 looking glasses out on the wall, you see. And we sat back at a table like that and just looked out. If you seen it dimming down where you nipped up.
So you had a little spyglass for a mirror, as it were.
No.
No, well, a little spyglass, a little kind of mirror thingy, or
Yeah.
looking glass you said, but it must have been...
Just a reflection through a mirror, you meant? Yeah.
Oh, what
mirror.
I put on the buildings, yes, they were about so size, so
Right.
square. Yeah.
Right. It's just a matter of...
That's, yes,
Properly
got
angling,
got 'em,
exactly,
in
and
the
then-
right angle.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm at the Lizard Lighthouse in Cornwall. We got a mirror set up so we can watch our one. So it must be something all keepers do. Right, what was your sort of daily routine when you were on the lighthouse?
Well, you came on duty, say, at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you were on all day. You had to cook the breakfast, the dinner, and the supper. Clean the place up, you see, and then your mate come on. You went to bed till midnight, and then you got up at midnight and done till 5, and then you come on for the day about, see.
So you had like a duty cook? You took turns in cooking?
Yes, day about.
How many keepers were there?
3.
Were they all good cooks, or is that
That
debatable?
wasn't much.
One was better than the other.
So some days you had some lousy meals and some days you had some...
Oh no, we got on pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes.
What sort... This is going to sound like a stupid question, but what sort of meals did you have down there?
Usually roast meat, stewed meat, spuds, cabbage. We had a little garden down there of our own, you see.
Was it
Veg.
Was it easy to grow down there?
Yes. Yes.
But being in such a wild place, all that work you could put in your garden, one storm could kill it, couldn't it?
Didn't seem to, no. One chap had his garden down in the point. I had mine over towards Christina Bay.
That was indeed the thing that I was in the beginning amazed, because I never got any trace directly around the lighthouse of any garden, but of course you grew your things somewhere else.
Yeah.
So you had a garden each?
Yes, yes.
Getting back to when you first joined down here, you said it was like paraffin lamps, but
Yeah.
obviously you didn't have electricity down there then, did you?
No. No.
So what did you do fridge-wise and stuff like that for food?
We didn't have a fridge.
So how did you keep it all?
We got our grub down every Saturday. The chap, Bus Aldridge, used to fetch it down. Your meat and bread, your cakes.
So it was just fresh once a week?
That's right.
Right, in the quarters itself, was there a separate engine room, was there? When you got the engines down there?
A separate engine.
Engine room.
Oh yes, yes.
What sort of engines did you have? Was it one or two?
No, just one.
Yeah.
I think it was a Petter. The government engineer used to come down and see to it for us, see, every so many hours.
Who were the keepers that were down there with you?
Well, when I went there, the head fellow was Fred Benson, and the second chap was Joe Curran. And then what happened then? Oh, crikey. Joe Curran went away, that's right, and I got his job, and they got another man down by the name of Matthew Macmillan. And then Freddie Benson, he died down there.
Well, actually at the lighthouse?
Yes, up in the tower.
Oh.
And I was the one that got his job. See, and then the Matthew Macmillan, he got sick and he had to go away. That's when Freddie Butler came. And Billy Cleather, that's all I can remember, I think. Oh, Eric Smith down here, he was another one, yes.
So you're down there with two other men. what's it like for getting on with each other?
We got on all right because we didn't see much of one another.
Ah.
Oh, that's easy. Falklands.
Only meal times, more or less.
Ah, good. That's
Watch work, see?
right.
Oh yes.
Did you, well, you must have had hobbies because of the time down there. You couldn't have been working all the time.
Oh no. I used to try and make horse gear and do little jobs with bits of wood and that sort of thing, you see. I couldn't read, of course, and the other fellows could, so they could sit back, read.
Did you ever do any fishing to sort of pop up your meals, as it were?
Yes, I used to fish them little rockcod out up the north coast of it. Only little fellas, so it wasn't too bad.
Now the tower's cast iron.
Yeah.
When you're up in the top in so-called winter times or in bad weather,
Yeah.
was it very cold?
Yes. Sometimes when you go and walking up the tower hanging onto the rail, he'd stick to you. Yes, he would.
What, you mean you get frostburn off a wall?
You could do, I suppose.
So did you have to wrap up just to go up the tower?
Not really, no.
Or was it exercise enough to warm you up? What was the routines you had to do for cleaning in the morning? Once you put the light out, what was the first thing you had to do?
Sweep the stairs down
Yeah.
and then get your breakfast ready, see? Call your mate out at 9 o'clock for breakfast.
Oh, that was really civilized. 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Yes, yes.
Was it mainly doing all the cleaning jobs in the mornings? Or did you have to work all day?
We had to clean the brass once a week, I think it was, up top. It was usually on a Friday. You had your brass to do, I had mine, and there you go. Them ventilators. Yeah, that's right.
Those ventilators were they there because it was a paraffin lamp to give the lamp air?
I suppose it could have been, I just wouldn't know.
We got those same ventilators in English lighthouses.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I see.
We still polish them. Nothing changes. What is it about lighthouse keepers and brass? Or the bosses of lighthouses?
Do you know?
Were you there still when this conflict with the Argentinians happened, or
No, I was away then.
what did they have to? What did they retire you?
I don't think they did. But the thing was, you couldn't stop the booze down there. And of course, you get drinking and drinking. Your gear up top was hot. They'd go to do something, burn themselves. Down and come something and break. Then I had to send it up to Rudy Clark or Ronnie Clark to get it fixed. And then the Trinity House people wanted to know why there was so much breakage. So that's when I got out of it.
You dropped a few things.
Yes. Bent them and broke them.
What was it like living down there then, as keepers? Did you enjoy it down there?
Yes, yes, a good easy job. Yes.
And somebody was saying you actually had livestock down there as well?
Yes, we had cows, milk cows, and our own milk and cream. and in the finished beef.
In the quarters, did you have your own private room?
Yes.
And was that shared with anybody else when you weren't there or anything? Or was that totally yours?
No, there was 3 bedrooms
Yeah.
and 3 keepers, you see. 2 keepers there all the time and 1 in Stanley. When you went back, you went to your own room.
Mm. So you could leave stuff down there and it would be alright?
Oh yes, yes. Grub was left out in the storeroom, nobody touched it. Tin stuff, bottle stuff.
When you when you went backwards and forwards to Stanley,
Yeah.
how long did that sort of journey take when you were a keeper? Because the roads wouldn't have been like they are now, would they?
No, I don't know. What would it be, 3/4 of an hour or something? Would that be right?
Yeah, at least, I suppose.
Something like that, yeah.
Right, I take it there's no fresh water down there. So where did you get your water from?
Off the roof.
Yeah? So you caught water.
Yeah.
And where was it stored?
In tanks.
Under the ground?
Yes, that's right, in the finish. There's one of the tanks out there.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure.
Yes. After we got a good blow from the southward, it used to turn the tea dark because it had a lot of salt in it, see?
From the spray.
Right.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You didn't have a system of filters then to get rid of all this muck off the roof first?
No.
Right, stores. Did the ship come to store the place up? You know, like coal and whatever. I don't know what sort of stores you would have delivered down there for the lighthouse. I suppose paraffin for a start for the lamp.
Yes, the boat used to take the paraffin down, the penwing. And then they got lorries taking it down, 40-gallon drums, see? And when I went there, it was coal stoves. And the lorries used to take these little blocks of coal down for us.
So that must have been the hardest work, was it? Unloading all this lot? Apart from all the polishing. Did anybody ever get their wives or girlfriends down there for a visit?
Yes, Freddie Butler used to get his down 2 or 3 days. And that's as far as I know. Oh, I think years ago that Pierce used to get his daughters down there. John Pierce, was it?
Right.
Was it lonely down on the end there, or did you get lots of visitors down there?
Quite a few visitors, yes. Too many if it was wet weather because they made too much mess.
Wildlife-wise down there, was there much?
No.
So it all passed you by down there?
Very seldom got a duck or a goose.
That's probably why there wasn't any wildlife down there. You'd eaten it all. Storms down there, because it's quite a peninsula, isn't it? So you must get some violent storms.
Oh, winter time, you get a bit of snow and
Yeah.
gale of wind for a few hours.
Yeah, I've noticed that, the nice thing down here. The wind, when it does blow, it doesn't take too long before it's gone.
Yeah.
It must be violent down there. Do they, the tower, it's sort of cast iron, that feels solid enough, but does it move in the wind?
Yes, up top you just feel them quiver some nights, just a little quiver. And I think the tower is leaning to the southeast. Is that right?
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Does that mean the prevailing wind's the opposite direction, does it?
Well, actually, that's also true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mostly northwest. Huh?
Yes, west from southwest round to northwest.
You can see it by the stains. They were in a certain direction.
Yeah. We have that on the Tower Rocks out.
Yes.
Yeah, in England. This is going to sound like a real stupid question. Toilet facilities on the Lighthouse down there in the olden days. What would you have had down there?
Just an old bucket.
Yeah.
And board on top of the hole in it.
Well,
Every well, when he got full up, you went and dug a hole in the sand.
Oh, great. Did it ever get, once you got the quarters properly and the electricity down there, was it flush toilets then?
Was it what?
Was it flush toilet then, or?
Oh yes. We were better off then. Yeah.
Yeah, out on the lighthouses out to sea in England, we had bucket and chuck it, as we call it. Very pretty.
Yes.
But showers or a bath?
A bath, yes.
There was a bath?
Oh yes, bath and a little wash basin there.
Oh, all right.
Little stove for heating the water for it, you see.
And was that water caught off the roof for bathing as well?
Yeah. Sometimes if we got dry weather, we had to get it carted from Stanley, you see. Used to cart it down in 400 gallon tanks.
God, that must have been quite heavy going with all that water on over those dunes.
Yes, sometimes they used to get bogged.
That landing, there still remains of a landing down there. Just the concrete pillars or whatever. Was that in use when you were there? The landing?
No, they'd done away with that then. They'd started with a lorry taking the fuel down, see. But I helped to pull that staging down.
Yeah.
And that derrick.
So did the derrick actually land just stores or men as well that way?
Just the stores.
Yeah.
Because they used to ride horses down there one time.
Yeah. That was fun.
Was there a telephone line to Stanley
Yeah.
already when you came there
Yes.
in '56?
Yeah.
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 It must have been one of the first telephone lines then. I mean, for such a distance.
I just couldn't tell you about that. No.
Did you spend many Christmases down there on duty?
Just, when it fell, you got bad luck to
Yeah.
for Christmas.
Can you describe how you celebrated it down there?
Well, sometimes somebody'd send us down a duff and we'd get a piece of lamb and that was it.
Did you decorate the place up at all?
No.
So no tree?
No.
No fancy, no fancy things.
Hello, John, can you put it on the bench there?